coming up. The University of Iowa reflects on 175 years. And later, a beloved Hawkeye alum passed away this week.
Carver was packed tonight to honor a familiar face. I'll tell you more in sports.
Though chilly temperatures and snow are on the horizon, I'll let you know what there is to look forward to in weather.
All that and more coming up on this Wednesday morning edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere. DITV News starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Abigail Curtin. This year marks the 175th anniversary of the University of Iowa. We have Daily Iowa News editor Eleanor Hildebrandt live in the newsroom. Eleanor, can you tell us about your first story regarding student protests and voices throughout the 175-year history at the UI?
Yeah, so the University of Iowa obviously has seen several protests, with 2020 and the Black Lives Matter protests on the Pentecost to Fiji this past fall. But we have a much more complicated history than that, with protests from having the first student to ever burn a draft card on campus in the 1960s, and then some protests taking over the highway in reaction to the Vietnam War in the 1970s. And even before that, we had a few protests about both World War I and II, where students joined and gathered to talk about their concerns and fears of the peace of Iowa City and the United States being potentially restricted during those two wars.
Thanks, Eleanor. Henry B. Tippy, the namesake of Tippy College of Business at the University of Iowa, passed away on Sunday at the age of 95. DITV reporter Ashley Wheel has more on who he was and what he has done for the university.
Henry Tippy graduated from the University of Iowa in 1949 and has since been a successful businessman and has been known in the university for his financial contributions set to help students and faculty. His donation started in 1957 with just $10. That donation has since grown to $30 million, which are used in scholarships, fellowships, and additional funds to assist professors and other faculty. Tippy continued to be involved in the college through frequent meetings with faculty and was even known to make visits and walk through the halls in order to meet and take photos with students.
You know, if I had to summarize Henry, he's just a very hard worker, incredibly responsible, goal-driven, and absolutely humble.
Henry Tippy's legacy will continue to live on through the College of Business, through his funds, as well as his wife and children, who will continue to be a part of future decisions. From the University of Iowa, Ashley Wheel, DITV.
Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds will deliver the GOP response to President Biden's State of the Union address on March 1st. Reynolds' speech comes after Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy praised her handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, saying, quote, "She handled COVID by choosing freedom over lockdowns and personal responsibility over mandates, leading to real economic recovery from the pandemic," end quote. Reynolds caused national attention for her controversial response to the pandemic, which included giving unemployment benefits to those who lost their jobs over refusing the vaccine. Her counter-response to Biden's address is a key opportunity for the GOP to speak directly to voters before midterm elections occur later this year. Yesterday, President Biden announced new financial penalties against Russia after troops moved into Ukrainian territory Tuesday morning. The response by Biden was swift and made in an effort to deter any further action being taken in Russia. Some of the sanctions include cutting off Russia's Western financing and disallowing them from trading their debts in Western markets. The U.S. and its allies have been unified in their response to Russia's actions and have expressed that they are willing to increase the severity of the sanctions should Russia continue these aggressive military actions. Well, Hawkeyes, it looks like our stint of spring-like weather has officially come to a close. Colder temperatures have taken over Iowa City the past 2 days. Wyatt, can you tell us more?
That's right, Abigail. This frigid trend will continue today with a high of just 23 degrees and temps creeping into the low teens tonight. We will start moving in a warmer direction tomorrow with a high of 28, but it appears some flurries may be coming along with it. Expect to escape this cold spell as well as see some much warmer weather make its way into the weekend and carry into early next week. We are slowly but surely making our way into the spring season, but still have a few more winter days ahead. Now let's toss it over to Sam in sports.
Thanks, Wyatt. The number 25 ranked Hawkeyes hit the hardwood to take on Michigan State Spartans and swept them 86-60. Coming off of their huge win of the season versus Ohio State, the Hawkeyes picked up right where they left off Saturday in Columbus. Sophomore Keegan Murray finished with an impressive 28-point performance to add to his Player of the Year campaign, and as the Hawks dominated from start to finish.
We knew that if there's a wounded animal, keep the wounded animal down, and that's kind of what we did in the second half. I felt like our team really kind of just got confidence from one another and extended that lead.
Carver was also packed tonight to honor the historical career of Luka Garza during halftime with the retirement of his jersey. Garza hit numerous milestones during his career at Iowa and held a heartfelt ceremony to celebrate his career. Only 8 Hawkeyes have retired their number, and this was a special moment for Garza and his family. The Hawkeyes have now won 2 straight games of double digits or more and continue to keep building their tournament resume for March Madness. Iowa will be back on action on Friday as they travel to Lincoln, Nebraska to take on the Cornhuskers at 8 p.m. Iowa women's basketball dominated their series against Indiana. DITV Assistant News Director Julia Richards recaps Monday night's game.
The number 21 Iowa women's basketball team snagged an 88-82 win over the number 10 Indiana Hoosiers. The Monday night victory marks the Hawkeyes' second top 10 win in just 3 days. Senior center Monica Sonano tied her career high, putting up 31 points inside an electric Carver Hawkeye Arena.
I mean, she's pretty much a walking bucket. I mean, so it's awesome when she's playing like that and just dominating. I mean, I'm just glad we got 17 shots for her tonight.
The Hawkeyes went into halftime with an 11-point deficit. Indiana scored 23 points in the first half from Iowa's turnovers, 7 of which came from star sophomore Caitlin Clark.
I think just running our offense was the biggest change that led to less turnovers.
The Hawkeyes have 2 games left in the regular season. Iowa's Big Ten tournament run looks promising if they can win both games.
And that's what you want, right? You want to be playing for something the last week of the season.
The Hawkeyes travel to New Jersey tomorrow to take on Rutgers, and they return home on Sunday for a battle with number 6 Michigan. From the University of Iowa, Julia Richards, DITV Sports.
Sixth-year guard Jordan Mohannan has always made a statement on the Iowa men's basketball team. I spoke to J-Bo about his season so far. Hawkeyes basketball team had lost 2 of their last 3 games before heading to College Park, Maryland to take on the Terrapins. Coming off a win against Minnesota, Jordan Mohannan and Keegan Murray led the Hawkeyes to a 27-point win against Maryland, each totaling 30 points on the night. Along with the win, Jordan Mohannan's 30 points came off of 10 threes, a new single-game record at Iowa. This moment is a major goal that Mohannan has been striving for his entire career.
The record has always actually been on my mind. I've been wanting to break that record since I came here at Iowa. It's actually something I wrote down on my little notebook for my goals, that I wanted to break that single-game record at Iowa. And it's kind of crazy to think about kind of how full circle everything been with Carter Kingsbury, his dad being the record holder, and him, coming to Iowa in this final year. I decided to come back, and he was on the bench to, see me break it.
This record is one of many that Bohannon has broken throughout his 6-year career. Out of the list, he currently has the most assists and three-pointers made in Iowa history and shares a free throw record with Iowa legend Chris Street. He highly promotes the players that have come to Iowa and left to the NBA, and most importantly, his players' unselfishness in allowing him to break these individual records.
It says a lot about the team. My time here at Iowa, I've been fortunate with a lot of great teammates, from Tyler Cook, Joe Wieskamp. You just go down the line, Luka Garza, all these guys that I've just been so blessed to play with, and they've propelled me to break these records at Iowa.
Under Bohannon's leadership, the Hawkeyes are currently ranked 25th in the top 25 poll and head into the Big Ten tournament with a lot of momentum. Come back on Friday for an update on women's basketball and wrestling. Back to you, Abigail.
Thank you for tuning into DITV News. Head over to thedailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday. And tune back in on Friday morning at 8:30 for another news and sports update. For DITV News, I'm Abigail Curtin. Have a great day.